Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabans. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a great show, so let's get straight into it. So recently, LeBron James made some comments that has everybody in a tizzy. I want to read a little bit of them from a Yahoo Sports post. Read from the first slide. It says, "I hope I made him proud at least wearing that number 23. LeBron James on Michael Jordan." He had another post where it said, "I have never compared myself to MJ because our games are totally different. I have been a point forward my whole life. I have always looked for the pass. MJ's always looked for the shot. That's a damn lie." LeBron has led every single team he's been on in shot attempts, except for like when he recently started playing with Luka, whatever. But anyway, another one. There are a lot of things where I would say my game is a lot different and better than MJ's, but he was effing great. We're both great. We're both great players. And then he later on began to go on and complain about the unfairness of being him and all of this and the criticism and people making fun of his finals record because he has such a low percentage. So today on ESPN First Take, this topic was first broached, and Stephen A. Smith was the first one. Actually, Stephen A. Smith went off. So actually what we want to do is we want to play what Stephen A. Smith had to say first here because he went off, and then Michael Wilbon just kind of piggyback off of him. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith here.
You can look at two guys without, for the purpose of the shit. But obviously it's usually somebody doing that to me. That is where the problem lies. Because what we don't talk about enough, Wilbon and Doggy, is as great as LeBron James is and how much he deserves to be celebrated, we don't talk about what he has done to hurt, not the game, but narratives associated with the game because of how he responds to it. I looked it up, Wilbon and Doggy. Do y'all know that there have been over 5,400 players in NBA history that have played in the NBA? Put Wilbon and Doggy up on the screen, please. I want to see them. 5,400 plus players in the NBA. I have LeBron James as number 2 all time. We're talking about Russell. We're talking about Kareem. We're talking about Wilt. We're talking about Kobe. We're talking about Elgin Baylor and Oscar Robertson and all these people. I have the man number 2. In his world, that's an insult. That is how he has acted with so many people along the way. But he doesn't do it directly, as you know, Wilbon, and as you should know, Doggy. Oh, no. Other people do it for him. I remember years ago when I'm sitting there joking around with Rich Paul, and I'm like, y'all act like that's an insult. Seriously, with a serious face, Rich Paul looks me in the face. It is an insult. What? That is the problem. And so what happens is they've given the impression that I'll use the word poop for FCC airwaves now. That we're pooping on players, okay? We're talking about them. What do we do to today's players that wasn't done before? I understand the advent of social media and beyond, and that everybody has a voice and everybody has a podcast and everybody got something to say. But in terms of the actual narratives, who hasn't gone through it? You tell me the player, Wilbon, you've been coaching, you've been covering the NBA for 40 years. You tell me, Doggy, Hall of Fame radio host for 40 years. You tell me what has been said about today's players that wasn't said about dudes in the past in terms of their on-court performance. We always compared. We always put one above the other. We talked about Isaiah Thomas. Isn't he one of the greatest point guards to have ever lived? Didn't we bring up Nate Tiny Archibald? Didn't we bring up Bob Cousy? Didn't we later bring up the Allen Iversons of the world? Haven't we brought up Magic Johnson? Didn't we bring up John Stockton? Didn't we bring up, name after name, shoot guards, Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson, all of these people. Jerry West was the silhouette. Didn't we bring up the fact that he had 1 title in 9 tries? We've done it to everybody. Didn't we bring up the turnovers with Magic Johnson in the finals against Boston where he cried like a baby in the shower, Wilbon, which you know better than most. It broke his heart and how he was determined to come back and got him not once but 2 more times. Didn't we talk about that? The great Wilt Chamberlain. Didn't we say he quit during an NBA Finals appearance? But somehow, some way, all of these generations of players embraced and accepted it's talk. It's basketball talk. And it's reserved for the great ones. So we can debate it, but there's no doubt if your name is in the conversation, it's because you're an all time, great. But when it comes to LeBron James, oh no, you pooping on a player. You dogging them. It's the negativity. It's what's happened to the game. And instead of appreciating how he is revered, how much we'll miss him when he's gone, how we cannot deny that this man belongs on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. My career wouldn't be what it is if it were not for people like him. Yours wouldn't either. Yours wouldn't either, Doggy or Wilbon. None of us. They helped us be who we are. But we're talking about it, and when we talk about it and we compare, oh, we're dogging them. And you've fostered that mentality to the modern day players in such a way that the heightened level of sensitivity has regressed to a point of embarrassment where we're literally looking at grown men who are elite, prestigious. We look at them, we admire, damn it, we wish we were them, at least physically and in terms of their capabilities, because we know they are things that we could never hope to be. We talk about it, we celebrate it, we debate it, we revere them, we big up them, we prop them, all of it. And none of it matters because how dare you compare? That is what LeBron James does when he brings out the part of us pooping and diminishing the players. He takes it that way, but then he leaves it to others to speak on it instead of owning it himself. You have a conversation, and that's all it would take.
Great. So you heard Stephen A. Now, the person I was most eager to hear from in this segment was Michael Wilbon, because Wilbon is a straight shooter. He's not kissing anybody's butt up there. And he went off last year it was last year, a year or so, when there was this big talk about LeBron and the GOAT. And Michael Wilbon said, if you think I'm going to put you ahead of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, you can go kick rocks. Well, little did I know that Wilbon actually said those comments to the face of Rich Paul. I never knew this. But today on ESPN First Take, Wilbon revealed it. Take a listen to Mike Wilbon here.
Stephen A., the thing is, that's not particular just to basketball. That's the culture we live in now.
Okay.
Popular music, entertainment, hating on, any criticism is seen as that. Okay. I've tuned a lot of that out. I've tuned most of it out. I tune out the people. I hear you about when they talk about people around LeBron, including Rich Paul. I've said to Rich, if calling LeBron a top 5 basketball player is an insult to you, get over it. So I've tuned them out. I've tuned that out. Everything LeBron said in that interview with Dave McMenamin, everything he said is right on the money. Everything he said. But LeBron is the one who puts the crown on his head. LeBron is the one who has said he's the GOAT. Michael doesn't say that. And the conversation has become tiresome to me because you're almost required to say something negative about the person you aren't supporting in the argument. We're all entrenched in our positions. I'm entrenched in mine. Jordan's the GOAT. It ain't going to change. LeBron is one of the top, depending on what day you talk to me, 2, 3, 4, 5 players of all time, depending on whether I'm going to have Magic above him or Kareem above him or Kobe above him or not, or have LeBron 2. Top 5. Anybody who's insulted by that, too damn bad. Not hearing you. Michael Jordan, let me just stop here. Jordan specifically and repeatedly refuses to say he's the GOAT. On the morning he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I sat with him for an 18-minute live on SportsCenter interview. And I said, Michael, is it important to you to know today that you're the greatest basketball player ever? He said, no, it's important to not say it. I'm not going to say I'm better than Bird. I'm not going to say I'm better than Magic. He put Julius Erving in that sentence. I think he had Kareem in it.
Yes, he did.
And so there's a...
Yes, he did.
If when you're the GOAT, you don't have to say it. Others will say it. And so LeBron is great in every way for the industry of basketball, for sport in general. He is great for all of it. But this notion of those around him, you don't have him to go. No, never. Not going to be that. And if you don't like it, so what? And I think you have to get to that place where you just say enough. And so I haven't engaged in this in months now because I refuse to. But you know what I'm saying, Stephen A? It's LeBron makes an accurate point. You do have to say bad things about one to boost the other. That's what I don't like about the GOAT discussion.
So you heard what Wilbon had to say. Wilbon is not willing to torque it up. And what he sounds like he's done is tune all of these people out. Stephen A. Smith kind of feeds into it. In the past, I used to really feed into it. But I understood that it's just a game. Like, I mean, it's I told you, I've been saying this on this channel for at least 4 years. This GOAT debate is made up of a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Stephen A. Smith having LeBron in his top two is his opinion. Wilbon is sitting right across the desk from him. He doesn't agree with him. So how is it everybody? But people pick, bro, if you think LeBron is one of the greatest players of all time, I don't have any issue with you. But if you think we need to say he's a top two player of all time, you can go kick rocks. And I 100% concur with the sentiments of Michael Wilbon. You can go ahead and kick rocks. If you expect me to put LeBron ahead of Kobe Bryant, you're insane. I watched Kobe and LeBron play. At no point in LeBron's career when watching him have I ever thought, man, this guy's better than Kobe. Never, not even one time. There were times where I watched Kobe Bryant and I couldn't believe my eyes. I'll be looking at him. I'm like, this is how is he doing this? Kobe to me was that, like, I'm looking at him like, how is he this good? It was almost confusing looking at Kobe Bryant do his thing. It was absolutely incredible. And for us Kobe fans, we saw it. Now, you can bring Shannon Sharp, you can bring Kendrick Perkins, you can bring Nick Wright, you can bring all of these Bleacher Report writers, you can bring whoever you want. None of that is moving us, bro. Y'all are putting that out there so LeBron fans can beat their meats with buckets of honey next to them. That's not moving none of us. We saw it. Y'all can think y'all fooling somebody. Y'all are not fooling nobody but who y'all fooling. And it ain't us. So we're not going for it. And Wilbon is like, bro, I'm not going for this. And Wilbon is not somebody that's looking for a podcast deal or looking for favors or looking for relationships, because it's usually those guys that are saying this kind of stuff. Wilbon looks like somebody that's making his money. He's extremely successful. He's highly respected by a lot of big wigs in the world of sports. He's like, I don't need this. There's no reason for me to do this twerking like everybody else. And I respect Michael Wilbon for that. There's a reason they call him the godfather of it all, and I can see it now. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.